AIM-listed Fox Marble, which supplies its cut marble to companies like Berkeley Homes here in the UK for upmarket kitchen worktops and bathrooms, amongst other uses, has just received an award from the Kosovo Chambers of Commerce for Best Company in Fair Competition. It has a resource in place amounting to something like €1.6 billion worth of value. Chris Gilbert is Chief Executive. He joins us now. Chris, welcome.
Jeremy, good morning.
Talking about that award in Kosovo, just remind us what it's like doing business there. Clearly they appreciate Fox Marble.
I think they do. We were a strange beast when we showed up because we were unique in being the first foreign investors as a public company in Kosovo. So I'm not sure that they knew exactly what to do with us. But we're successful in what we do. We're good employers. You know, we have a good social contract locally. And I think we're now part of the furniture, and people enjoy the fact that we're there. And this award is a reflection of that.
When we spoke in January, you'd come off a year when gross revenues fell below forecasts. But we talk now after an update that you sent out in September, which showed that things are very much on track, and you've got a very strong pipeline. Explain where you are and what's happened in the last 9 months or so.
We've certainly put a lot of effort into developing our order book, and we're relatively pleased with the relationships that we've developed around the world. And it is now true to say that we have sold every single type of marble that we have under our control and that we're getting out of the ground and shipping to various customers around the world. So that bit we're pleased with. You'll know that we announced a disappointing set of half-year results at the interim, a function of partly quarry development, partly the fact of the delays in our factory, but we're pleased with where we are, and as a proven model, we're convinced that particularly next year we'll see the results of all of this effort.
Update us on the factory development, because again, going back to when we spoke in January, you'd come off one of the worst winters on record. You'd had all sorts of difficulties in getting things going, but since then there I know have been these other unexpected events. But it's now all dry, isn't it? And your factory's up.
It is. The factory building is up, and it's a building of integrity and weatherproof and so on and so forth. And we are installing equipment in it. The setback that we had this year, that again we told everybody about, was that one of our suppliers, or one of our key suppliers, had a major fire in their factory in Italy. It burned to the ground and took some of our equipment with it, so that set us back, because these things are bespoke and built to order, so we're a little delayed there. But as I say, we're installing equipment in the factory, and we hope to be able to announce the fact that that's up and running in the not too distant future.
Explain how you define the company, because we saw a ramp up in shares when good news started to come through later this summer, and then since the commodity slump, which has really got going over the summer, your shares have dropped. Now, technically speaking, you're not a miner, you're not a commodity company as such. Yes, you do own the resource and you do dig it out of the ground, but it's not quite positioned as a pure commodity play, is it?
I think it's right. I mean, we benefit from the fact that we're a unique company in the sense that we're the only marble company that's listed on any major stock exchange. And I think we suffer a bit from the fact that as a consequence of not having our own category, we're lumped in with the general small cap mining sector. And we're not miners, we're not explorers, we're not dependent on continuing regrade of resource or anything. We're an open pit quarrying company doing a very simple job. And as you say, we do get bracketed with that, which is slightly unfair. If for anything we're a buildings material company or an architectural materials supplier that happens to own its own resources, which is a very nice position for us to be, but I think we suffer a bit from
And of course that sector has been doing particularly well on the back of a rise in house builders, and we said at the top about the fact that you've been Berkeley Homes now for some time and you've got this contract. There's been a bit of a reorganisation within Berkeley Homes itself, but the contract you were talking about that you had got in place, that's still all fine, and the pipeline's still good through to Berkeley.
We continue to supply to St George's PLC, which is that division of Berkeley Homes that we supply through our relationship with Pisani. We're supplying, again through Pisani, we're supplying Galliard and Walter Lilly, other major developers. And we are part of the construction recovery for sure. That's a nice place to be.
And what is your team doing about getting more pipeline, if you like? What is the opportunity? How do you see it?
We're working very hard on relationships in various key parts of the world. Key markets for us are China, which we've talked about, and to whom we've sold marble already. India is a very dynamic market now with its development and so on and so forth, as is North America. And we've talked in the past about the joint venture relationships that we're negotiating in North America, which hopefully soon we'll be able to talk more specifically about.
And of course you have what is almost a unique resource, don't you? The Civich white, I think, is it produced in one other place in the world?
We're one of two quarries that produces white Civich
and
marble.
that's particularly big in the States.
And that's very big in the States, and of course it's very big in the Middle East as well, which is all about white marble. So we're very pleased with our position with regard to that.
So what's the cash in the bank? I think you've raised some money this year, haven't you? What's the cash in the bank, and what do you anticipate doing with it this year?
As at the half year, we had €5.5 million in cash in the bank, which is, obviously a pretty comfortable position to be in. And where we are at the moment is developing our order book to convert it into the sales revenue stream that people expect to see from us, which we're working very hard on.
Yeah, so milestones from here?
Well, I think the factory has to be a big milestone for us, and that we're working very hard on. And people will expect to see the order book, as I say, generating cash in the way that we've indicated going forward. Well, look, do keep us up to date. And Chris, thanks indeed for joining us. Jeremy, thank you. That's Chris Gilbert. He is the Chief Executive of Fox Marble.